The following video was recorded on location in my state-of-the-art office in the corner of my first floor apartment. If you like what you're about to hear, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell in the upper right corner.
Hello, Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, thanks. Yeah, it's nice. You wrote to me on fucking Twitter or Facebook, didn't you, recently? Huh?
Oh, yes. Well, we were talking a little bit about the unfortunate events that came with the Optimist being leaked out a little bit too early.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and I got to say from a radio show host standpoint, from a musician standpoint, and from a fan standpoint, I'm very disappointed with that because, like I mentioned online, I worked really hard to be able to get where I am now, where labels trust me to be able to check out an album, be able to play the singles, and give my perspective on albums to make sure other people want to go out and buy those albums. And then, just less than 2 days after I received the album, it goes out through the internet, and then everyone can go out and check it. It just makes everything feel less special, and that is not fair because you guys have definitely put out one of the best albums of your career with The Optimist.
I just don't know who he thought he was doing that, Who did he think he is? I mean, that album cost a lot of money. Like I said, he was dealt with. Online. I exposed him. He deleted his Facebook account. And the thing is, we are able to see who leaked it, because every CD has a code imprinted in the music. It's showing his name on the code. So we were able to say, this is the person who did it. And then he just said he was hacked, which is bullshit, And I exposed him, and then he deleted it. Look, I'm past it now. It's disappointing, but it's also got a lot of positive reaction from people because a lot of people, felt the same way that you did, and also the journalists, like the honest journalists like you and other people that I've met and spoken to, have all rallied around this. They've all rallied around this subject and expressed support and solidarity with us. And once the album gets released, you expect it to go online. You can't stop it. It's just the way it is. That's okay. That's the way of the world. But for him to do it 6 weeks early after being given the CD just a few days before and doing an interview with my brother just a few days before, face-to-face interview a few days before, it's just wrong. He has no right. And anybody who does that ever again will be exposed,
As they deserve to be.
That's, what can I do? It's done now, but at least we know who he is. We expose him, and anybody else who does it will get the same treatment.
Oh, yes. And
the thing is, it's in Russia. He did it, and it was in Russia and Brazil within minutes, What can you do against something like that? It's just it was very expensive to make. We're not rich. We deserve a little bit more respect.
And I see a lot of defense of this where people say that they just want the fans to be able to experience the music sooner, but I think the true fans are willing to just wait those 6 extra weeks. It's already been about 3 years since Distant Satellites. They could have just waited 6 more weeks for the album to be coming out if they really are a fan.
Yeah, they could. That's bullshit. What they really mean is they just want the fans to experience it for free. That's what they really mean. And if people like the album want to go and check it out afterwards, I'm not saying people have to buy it. It'll be online anyway. But to spoil all our work and the whole team's preparation, which is not just us, but all the record label and all the press people and all the people who need to fucking put food on the table at the end of the day. It's like just fuck it. It's wrong. Don't care what they say.
Oh. Yeah,
those fans got day jobs. It's like, this is our job. We don't have much money at all. This is what we live on, right? And, for the people who have a job, let's say one of those fans works in a school, for example. Let's just say they're a teacher in a school, right? Now, what they do is altruistic. It has implications and meaning that goes far beyond money, You're about improving people's lives. And it has meaning and it has purpose, right? More than most jobs do, teaching. But if somebody said to them, you're going to do the whole thing for nothing, with no money, and we're just going to, you're going to do, a whole year's worth of work and then we're just going to slash your wages, just because we can. They wouldn't agree to it. They find another job to do. And that's just normal. That's not greedy. That's not ripping off the fans or anything. That's just life. Right? And they just can't seem to see the difference between fat multimillionaire rock bands or something, who, I don't know, I just don't get it. I just don't do that stuff. I understand the world's different, the world's changed, but it's just one of those things. But on the positive side, like I said, there's been a lot of positive reaction. I mean, I've seen a lot of positive reaction personally, which is people being supportive, people being understanding. Like even one guy who I got into an argument with on Facebook, we ended up chatting in real life, to clear the air, and he ended up really understanding, being really understanding, and he said, I'm sorry, I was talking shit, I didn't understand, I thought you were rich, is what he said. I thought you guys were rich. And I think that's what goes on in people's minds. They just think, well, they're rich fucking bands get a lot of money. Bands don't get a lot of money. You've got to sell 1 million albums in this day and age to make a lot of money, and even then you have to work your ass off on tour and getting up for fucking stupid o'clock flights, to go to some place. It is not that easy. We are not Metallica.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that is the sad reality. A lot of people think that just because a band is recognized, they've been around for X number of years, they have an X amount of number of albums, that they think that the band is able to sustain just from album sales and occasional touring, and that's just not the case anymore in 2017. It's just
no, and it isn't the case because of technology. It is what it is. I'm never gonna freak out. I mean, we're in danger of spending this whole interview talking about this, by the way. But I'm never gonna freak out that it's available on a torrent site, 6 weeks after it's released, but 6 weeks before it's released, done by a journalist in full view of the fact that he had an interview face to face with my brother 4 days earlier. Fuck this guy.
Yeah,
that's it. Fuck this guy. And if I ever meet him, you better be careful. And I know what he looks like, and I know what his name is. If I ever see him, I'm going to fucking humiliate him.
Yeah, and that is just the absolute dark side to journalism. I mean, when again, just like someone like me who just wants to go out and promote the bands I truly care about, and then you have people like that who just want to release the music. I mean, whether it is,
to be honest, it's happened lots of times now, and it's getting to the point, Josh, I'm sorry to say, that my brother doesn't want to give CDs to journalists anymore. He wants to invite journalists to listening sessions in recording studios, where they take away their phones and they listen to it with notepads for 60 minutes, and he wants to do that next time. He doesn't want to do the CD thing anymore, So if there's I don't know which part of America you're in, where are you?
Oh, yeah. And I totally
Which part of America are you in?
Oh, sorry?
Which part of America are you in?
I'm in Minnesota.
Minnesota, yes, that's right. So you're quite far north. So you might go to one of the Canadian, release parties, so to speak, where, you'll meet other journalists, you'll go out for the day, you'll listen to the record, But it's going to be the case that it'll probably just happen in the big cities, and I don't even know if it's going to go this way, but that seems to be the only way you can stop it from happening, So anyway.
Well,
anyway, who knows?
Well, I can say it from my end. I just released, not released. I received the album just a stream only, and then I received a MP3 version of Springfield, and I am just fine with that until I pick up the album on June 9th, when I am going to wake up and pick up the album. That's all I need.
Well, the stream thing is one way of doing it, but people can still take an audio strip on the stream, okay, and record it into a CD recorder or something. But even then, the code is embedded in the music with their name on it. People go to the record company have gone through great lengths to stop this kind of thing from happening. And these are not big, greedy record companies, And, it still happens anyway. So I just don't know what's going to happen next. Like I said, it might come down to the fact that just in the major cities, Chicago, LA, New York, maybe somewhere in the South, major cities in Europe, there'll just be these release events where journalists will go to, a studio or a venue in, perhaps in Paris or in Amsterdam or in Berlin, London, and just listen to the record, and they'll get that inspiration, that moment, and that's it. That's all they get, you know. And you know, that might just be the only way to do it. Because I appreciate this. You know, there's very honest journalists out there, like guys like yourself. Most journalists are nice, you know. Most of them are just. They don't get paid much more money than anybody else, and certainly don't. You know, they don't get paid any more than we do. You know, or vice versa. So I get it. You know, it's a difficult time for all of us in the music industry, but we have to stand together and say, look, this is the line. Don't cross this line, right? You know what I mean? Enough's enough, and there has to be a new method of transferring music. Because I don't think Spotify is the answer either. You know, I don't think that's the answer. No, there you go. I don't know what to suggest right now.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I mean, there's so many outlets that sound like a good idea at the time, but it's yet to pay off in the right way, like Spotify, with not being able to give out the amount of money per spin that they, like bands like yourself, deserve to have.
Spotify is nothing close to the amount of money per spin. Well, let me give it. One band got 1 million streams of a song and got $5,000 from it. That gives you an example.
Yeah.
And that's for a band. That's before the record company and tax man gets involved. That's from 1 million streams. So it's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong, and it's just a shame. And like I said, we're in danger of spending the whole time talking about it. But to draw a line underneath it, we did get a lot of positive feedback and a lot of positive, actually a lot of positive press. I mean, a lot of, not press, but a lot of people talked about it. Like, a lot of the interviews that I've done since that event have talked about this. And everybody seems to have known what happened. Not only that it came out, but that we said what we said about it, right? Mm-hmm. And the way that I said what I said about it that night seems to have spread quite virally in the community. You see what I mean? So I'm getting a lot of reaction, so most of it positive, coming back my way, our way. And so, you know, maybe he did us a fucking favor. I don't know. I don't know what to say now, Josh. You know, it's happened now. It's done, you know.
Well, I mean, if there is any solace to find in this, it is the fact that more people will get to experience the band that may not have been able to in the past or may not have recognized you before. Yeah.
Well, I get that, of course. Yeah. I get that. I mean, and that's the thing you expect 6 weeks and 6 months after the release, you know? That's not the same thing as what happened here.
Yeah, that's very true. And that's what makes it so sad for me again. But, you know, there are the fans that are still waiting for the album to come through pre-order or when it comes out on June 9th and just waiting for that full album experience. And you can tell...
Really, the only way you can handle this now, Josh, is to tour. And we're going to play the whole album live with a full live projection, a film show of the album. We're literally, our guy in California is making a film for this album right now. And we're going to do the whole album live with the full show. And the first place that we will do that, hopefully, is in Baltimore or New York when we get there. So that'll be the Optimist live, so to speak. Then you'll get all the classic songs after that, you know, all the songs you want to hear, but, you know, even more Last Goodbye and stuff. But, you know, for the first hour, it'll be the album. So if you can get down to any of those concerts, that would be nice. Because that's where we're going to do it. So that'll be like, that's an experience you can't download, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You cannot replace the experience of being there.
Yeah, I mean, even though I live in Minnesota, I was able to see you guys a couple years back at Prog Power in Atlanta, Georgia, and of course it was one of the only shows that I know you guys did in North America for distant satellites, and it was so great to be able to see those sounds live, and now having the chance to experience you guys twice now in America.
We met in Minnesota, you and I, didn't we?
Yes, we actually had a great conversation before the show.
I've actually listened to that interview since then, you know, and it reminds me of a very nice time. You know, that 2013 tour we did of America, that is still the best tour we ever did, ever. Mine and Vincent, as far as I'm concerned, and probably Vincent too, that's the best tour we ever did. First time in America. It was just so good. You can probably tell I was in a really good mood that day. I spent the whole tour like that.
Oh,
it was special. It was special.
Yeah.
What a tour.
Yeah, and that was still one of my favorite interviews I ever did, and sadly, it was one of the last interviews I did for several months, as I was in and out of the hospital for a few months with various stomach issues, and I wasn't on my A game during that interview, but you just brightened my spirits during that interview, and just getting to talk about everything about weather systems, everything that eventually would come out a couple months later about the work for distant satellites, and just getting that whole experience of just like talking everything about Anathema. I mean, it was just so cool to be able to do that just one-on-one like that.
That's really nice, man. And for the rest of this journey, we can go over time, by the way, if Monica doesn't call me back. For the rest of this interview, we can talk about all the positive things.
Oh,
Exploring America is incredibly special for me. It's really, it's a long way. It's not as far as Australia and Japan, but it's a long way. But it's not that far to get to New York, and it's just an enormous pleasure. Once you get in the country, once you've passed, the very, very tight border security that you have there in America, we're lucky to have in America, I think. It's a very special place to be in, and it's the birthplace of rock and roll really is America. Birthplace of the blues is America, of movies, So many things that are positive about culture and art has been American for me. And every time I go to that country, in fact, every state that I go to, I have some connection to it, Like, I can automatically think of 2 or 3 connections that I've got to Minnesota. It's Wisconsin, isn't it, Minnesota?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah, so I can automatically think of a couple of things that I'm connected to with Minnesota. Obviously, the big one is Prince, but also I told you about the Tom Waits song that is based on a corner in Minnesota,
And you just played a couple blocks from there as well.
Say again?
Oh, you just played a couple blocks from there too when we.
Yeah. I went to that corner. I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember me telling you that I went to that place?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. It was before. I think I just come back, or I just after the interview I went there. But I went to that corner, 9th and Hennepin. I walked. It was nice.
And how was that for you as a Tom Waits fan, from overseas? What was it like to be able to walk that stretch?
Well, what it does, things like that, what they do is they give me a kind of flavor for the place and a connection to something that I'm already connected to. Like, for example, I know it's not popular, but I really like the South because of various things that I like about it, which as a visitor I can really appreciate, We're not talking politics here, by the way.
Oh, yes.
But all the other things, the other good things about the South, the good old boys, the music, culture, and I can get that in any corner of the United States. It doesn't matter where I go. I mean, the only place I can think of that I don't feel a connection to is I shouldn't say this because I don't want somebody to hear it on that tape. Just leave it blank. Is this going to be an audio interview?
Yes, it is, but I can take out anything that you need to.
Can you just put a beep? Can you do that?
Oh, sure.
Over my voice? Right. Okay, so there's only one kind of part of America that I can think I don't really feel connected to it, but even then is the place where I got off the ferry and I queued up in Starbucks to get a coffee, and Ty Tabor from King's X was in front of me in the queue. So even if I got something, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's great.
Funny. Oh, and also Dexter. I like Dexter. And I like Hispanic culture as well, so, I could always put on a Cuban shirt.
Oh, that's great. Well,
I do. I love Hispanic culture.
Oh, yes.
I like black culture as well. I like African American culture. TV shows like The Wire are really fantastic. The music that's come from African Americans, it's just beyond description. The contribution that those people have made, like the blues, for example, which is the birth of rock and roll. Little Richard and that. So it doesn't matter what angle I look at America from. There's something I like about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, politics aside, I mean, when you just look at the musical and art culture of America, I mean, no matter where you go, you're able to find something that's so different than somewhere else in America, and something that really stands out and has a lasting impact.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's such a big place, and I mean, it's as big as Europe, or bigger. And if I think about the differences between Spain and Portugal to the Baltic states and and Scandinavia and parts of Russia, it's like they couldn't be further apart. The difference is that these places are so much older, and the languages and cultures, the languages are so different. Whereas what you have in America is, for all of its faults, and they are, there's a whole issue about how the country was formed, which was based on genocide and stuff. But I will say this, right? America's democracy is multi-layered and prevents any person within that democracy getting too much power. The president, Donald Trump, has just found out the president only has limited power because Congress or the judicial system can override him, which has been happening, right? So despite the fact that the lobbyists and capitalism is overblown in America, the worship of the dollar is too much and the social system isn't very nice, it's still a powerful democracy. And it's to be admired for this reason, It's to be admired. And like I said, if I take politics out of the equation, America is an enormously admirable nation. It's fantastic, And even with politics in, you've got some leading lights, that have done so much good and really changed the world, People like Martin Luther King, or people like Roosevelt, or people like Abraham Lincoln, and you'll get somebody saying, yeah, but they were like this and they were not like that, and like, as far as I'm concerned, so fucking what, right? Their legacy is positive as far as I can know, particularly Martin Luther King and Lincoln, And there's a lot of good souls in America, I would just say the only criticism I would say is probably the dollar is a little bit too powerful in America, I would say, and I think, personally speaking, as much as I love the southern states, I think the gun laws, that are a bit, they have serious consequences, serious side effects, When I admire people who use guns responsibly, and you get people who own guns like their whole life, their whole family does, and they wouldn't dream of shooting somebody else, like unless they absolutely had to, And I get it, and it's fine, and I respect the freedoms. It's just the side effects of this are pretty fucking hard for a society to handle, as you can see by not only the mass killings, but also just the size of the body count every year, Did I sum it all up there? I mean, I talked quite a lot there.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Any of that makes sense?
Yeah, you captured all of the positive and somewhat negative of America, but it's so great that despite any negative continuity that might come with it, that America means so much to you guys, that you do love touring here, that the 2013 tour with Alcest was your favorite tour to date, and you guys are coming back for a nice string of shows coming up later this year to be able to promote the Optimist. I mean, I'm glad to see that you guys are going to keep coming back.
Fucking awesome, dude. It's fucking awesome. I've spent the last week watching skating videos on Thrasher on YouTube. Hundreds of skateboarding videos, right? Just loads of them, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I can't fucking believe the cojones of these guys. Like, it would not catch me doing that shit. But I love watching it, It's like, and people say, skateboarding culture is hardly high art. I don't care. I don't care that hip hop isn't considered high art, except in a few cases. Some cases, there's certainly, but I don't care. It's so strong culturally. You know what I mean? It's so strong and has such an impact on many people's lives for good. In many cases for good. That I just America, I just love America so much, for all of its faults. I just love it so much. And we loved it enough to set the whole of the Optimist album in the West Coast, So we've been talking for over half an hour. We haven't even mentioned it,